On today's Tux Traveler, we are going to be driving down the coast of Maine, down below the city of Callias into Quoddy Head. This is a significant spot in Maine because this bay area is the largest tidal changes in the world. This is the Bay of Fundy, where we're going to sit down and see some of that. And then we're going to end up in Quoddy Head, which is the easternmost place in the United States. Buckle up and stay tuned. We are at Devil's Head in Maine, which is under the city of Callias, and right next to the Canadian border, and it's going to go a little bit through. There's a short trail. You can actually drive down the trail and walking. It's only about half a mile out to some scenic overlooks over the beach. This spot here was actually at one point in time used for a hotel till it burnt down in the early 1900s or so, back in the era of the steamboats bringing passengers up and down the coast. This is in Lubbock Bay, so it has really high tide changes, about 25 feet every 6 hours or so, as the tide changes from high to low. And there's some trails and woods, and there's some beach access as well. So we're gonna get out there and see what it is. So I actually saw this just on my offline maps. It's really small, and so I thought, well, this sounds like a really fun thing to do while I go up and down the coast. So right now we're pretty much in a forest there's a lot of cedar and birch, a little bit of maple, and other forms of spruces, pines, and hemlocks in here. So it's kind of a nice little naturey trail to start the day at 8 in the morning. So it'll be kind of fun. So we made it down to the beach access down here, and so there's a little bit more history. This was actually used by Native Americans a whole lot over the years. As the tide would come in, they would come up on the tide, hang out here for the 6 hours or so. They would hunt, cut firewood, and then come back down where the tide would then bring them back out into the ocean. So literally they'd come up here at high tide, they'd put their boats down here, kind of anchor them near the shore area, and then when the tide would go out, the boats would be on land and then just come up, do their things, and then come back. And that's actually what caused them to build, and the hotel was the Daymont Hotel. There used to be some cottages back here as well. The last photograph of one that we have is from 2003. They didn't indicate where they were. That'd be kind of neat to see if you could spot anything at the foundations and show what the area looks like now. But all up and down this coast right here where a whole lot of steamboats would come in and out, and it was actually a big port right here. Now the land behind me here, that's actually Canada. That's New Brunswick, Canada. So that's kind of still how short the Bay Area is out here, but this is the Bay of Fundy, so it has the highest tide changes in the world. If we sit here for 15 minutes, we will actually watch the tide change on the sea level that's here. And I can't tell right now if it's going in or going out, but we can take a photo reference, hang out for 15 minutes, and then do another photo reference and see what happens. So on my camera right now, it is 8:34. I'm going to sit on this rock for about 15 minutes, and then we'll see what it looks like in 15 minutes from now. It has been exactly 15 minutes. It's now 8:49 on my clock. Here is the exact same view. I wish I took a picture 15 minutes ago too. I just did the video. But here's what we can see. All right, this rock right there, the water was completely behind it, and now it is literally down there. The big rock out there, the water was up on that little lip that's right about there, and now the water is down. I mean, it's a legit 8 inches from what I can see here. There's another little rock peeking up right there. That little rock there was not peaking up at all in the last one. I think this one here is also a new peak. So this is quite incredible to sit here and actually watch the tide. Of course, it's going out. And one of the things I notice out here, we're also getting more of the green patches here, but you'll see what looks like more of a current right around here. Okay, that is the current that's being caused by the tide going down and recessing from the shores as it moves on out to back to the Central Ocean, which is this direction. And we're heading down that direction, actually. I'm going to go over to another spot down there. It is, I'm telling you, this is incredible to sit here on the shore and watch the tide go down. And it has legit only been 15 minutes. So yeah, we are on the tide going down. So I imagine that a little bit ago, where you can see it's kind of dark, and it's kind of dark where I'm at here, I bet that this, where I'm sitting, will be underwater under high tide. So it is a change every, I think only 4 out of 6 hours you can access this beach right here, according to the sign up there. So it's kind of cool. We're going to walk over there, see if anything is washed up shore, and then I'm going to look at one of the 2 nature trails coming out. So there's 2 clearly marked trailheads back here. Literally, only one of them is on the map, and I don't know why the Shoreline Bluffs Trail is not on the map. It also is on my offline maps, so I was expecting to find it. So rather than take the Devil's Head Trail, I'm going to take the Shoreline Bluffs Trail. Both of them will lead close back to the parking lot. So this will be interesting if I can get past the wall of bugs over here. But we'll see what happens. I just think that Cliffside Bluffs sounds way better than Devil's Head. So I don't know. We'll see what this trail looks like. I only want to do one of them right now because I'm going to go over to another spot down the coast another hour. So I'm not going to do both of these. And hopefully it's more than just a trail through the woods. This is actually a pretty cool trail. It is hugging the shoreline here. And I've never seen a trail go quite through such a densely populated woods like this. Got to make sure you're keeping an eye out for the next marker though, because wowzers, you get lost in that. Oh, nice. We have steps going down to a, look at that, a cliffside bluff view of the ocean. That's cool. Look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, I think this is better. All indications suggested Devil's Head was just a walk in the woods. I think this is definitely a cooler trail. I'm not sure why it's not on the maps, even though it's clearly labeled inside the park. So, interesting. It is a levitating pine needle. We leave Devil's Head and head up to Quoddy Head. This is my favorite part of the trip, possibly even surpassing Acadia. This place here has a famous lighthouse. It has a few miles of cliffside bluff trails and a bog trail featuring wild carnivorous plants, which is totally awesome. So we got a chance to see all that, and this is also the easternmost part of the United States. So if you're making a trip out to Acadia, take the extra hour or so drive and make it out to Quoddy Head. It is absolutely worth the trip. All right, so we have landed in Quoddy Head State Park. This is going to be the easternmost park and landmass in the continental United States. So, pretty cool place. I didn't even know this was out here until I was talking to the Vanlifers I was hiking with yesterday. They told me about this. It was really close to the maps where I wanted to get to anyway, so I'm like, hey, let's go ahead and do it. So we're here, and it looks like we might have some good restrooms over here. There's a lighthouse over there. I might grab the camera with the zoom lens on it just to see what kind of pictures I can get on the ocean coast with that. But let's see what we got. Here here we are at the easternmost point in the United States of America. This is West Quoddy Head in Lubbock, Maine. You can see the historic lighthouse behind me, which I believe is still in operation. And it is just a beautiful sight down here. I was looking around on the bog trails and things. We're going to go hike on that. Allegedly, they might have carnivorous plants here. At least there are some in their photographs of their bogs. So yeah, we're going to go and see that. See if we can actually spot any. Fun fact, I used to grow carnivorous plants, even having a Wikipedia page to my website about carnivorous plants this is going back about 15 years ago. So kind of neat to, if we'll actually see one. All right, so I looked at all the different trails, and there's a total of like 6-ish miles of trails out here. We're not going to walk all of those. But I do want to see the bog trail, which there is an inland trail, which is mostly like we're seeing here. Woods, moss, really beautiful. But it's a fairly long trail. It goes out to the coastal trail, which I do want to do some of the coastal, which goes up along the coastline up on sheer cliffs overlooking the ocean, which looks cool. But I really want to see that bog trail. And this is like 2-3 of a mile to the bog trail. That'll go up on boardwalks, and then from there I can come back down, catch a little bit through the inland trail, and that'll tee with the coastal trail, and I can walk that back about another half mile back to the parking lot. So this is beautiful scenery though. Let me turn the camera around so you can see it better. Found it that way. So I was just talking to some guys. If I overheard correctly, I think one of them is a professor and from somewhere. I didn't get a chance to ask, but they were very familiar with this and doing some nature photography. They said there's definitely pitcher plants and probably sundews, although the American and North American sundews are fairly small. If you don't know what you're looking for, you might miss them. Hopefully I can find one, because I do kind of know what I'm looking for. So it'll be kind of neat. So we'll get up there into the bog and see what we find. Alright, so here in this spot here, we actually see some sundews. Let me see if I can get my finger up there and point without actually touching them or not. Whoa. Right there is a sundew. Another one right there is a sundew. So those guys there are really sticky on the surface. That's not actually the species of sundew I was expecting to see up here, but it's cool that we find them. And of course, right next to it, in the midst of the sundews, we have pitcher plants. So that is this guy right here, is a American purple pitcher plant. And there's a bunch of those. We might have already seen some, depending. Now, to be clear, the sundew is just these guys here. Let's see if I can find where I'm at here. It's just these guys here with the sticky parts. It's not the moss around it. They're kind of growing out and through the moss. So as you look around the bog here, one of the things that you notice is all of the really small trees. They're normal sized trees. The problem is that for carnivorous plants to grow, there has to be nearly no nutrients in the soil. Because if you give carnivorous plants tap water, for example, or normal water, they will die. So most of you, if you've ever purchased a Venus flytrap from like Lowe's and you bring it home, you're all excited about the bug that can eat all the flies out of your house in the summertime, and then it dies shortly after. You've been giving it tap water. You have to give them distilled, reverse osmosis, or otherwise purified water with a nearly zero mineral content. Anything more than that will kill them. So this bog here, which is hilarious juxtaposed to the ocean, which is completely full of salt, this bog has no nutrients in it at all. And so the trees that are taking root and growing, they're all dwarf, they're sickly. Like this guy here is a standard tamarack tree. These guys are like full-size trees, but it's lacking nutrients. It's not doing well because the bog does not have enough nutrients to sustain it, which is why there's so many carnivorous plants in here, because they're able to get nutrients from the bugs that are attracted by other things in here, but all the ordinary plants are not necessarily thriving because the bog lacks nutrients for them. Yeah, bog was totally awesome. We're going to go ahead and make my way over to the coastal shore, and we're going to walk back to the van by way of the steep cliffs on the coastal shore. We're not going to walk a ton of that, but we definitely want to go and see some of it. Don't fall and die. That would suck. Falling off high ledge. So there's another one of those thunder holes down here. Tide will come in, hit against the side of this canyon, and go boom. There's a big wave coming in, so let's see if we can get it to mist again. Yeah. The witch's cauldron down there. This is Harry, my pet rock. You can see he has a nice head of hair on him.
Between the cliffside hikes, the thunder canyons, the bog, the carnivorous plants, the lighthouse, this place here is just one of the most stunning that I've been in. So definitely get a chance to come out to Quoddy Head State Park if you are in the area. We're going to wrap this video up here for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Hit that notification bell, and we will see you a little bit further down the road.